Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Hophead Connisaur. Today, as you can tell, we are not out and about. Today, we are at my place. Today is going to kick off a series of what I call Subpar Sunday. Now, you're asking yourself, what's Subpar Sunday? You see me out at the craft breweries. You know I'm into craft beers. We are going to start talking about crappy domestic beers. Yes, I know, I'm being judgmental, but everybody has their style of beers, and for me, I prefer my craft beers, so I'm here to talk about this domestic beer. Back in the day, I used to drink this a lot. It was cheap, and you could drink a lot of it. This beer here is only rated at 4.6%, so not like your typical craft beers where, you know, they start off small, but I mean, you can get up into the high numbers. I prefer beers that range anywhere from like 6 to about 10%. You're probably thinking, wow, those are some heavy hitters. And they can be heavy hitters. And I've had beers as high as 17%. And you're like, wow, how many of those can you drink? Well, probably one pint's going to be good enough for you, and that's about it. Anything beyond that, and you better be calling yourself an Uber or a Lyft. So domestic beers have been around for ages before the craft beer industry took off, and that was always everybody's go-to beer. Budweiser, Coors, Miller, those are some of the big domestic breweries that mass-produce beers and get it out to the general public. And my take on that now is, tastes like water. I mean, if you want to go drink water, go drink yourself a domestic beer. But I like flavor. And that's my thing, is I like flavor in beer. So I have a range of beers that I like, and I like that flavor. And it was funny, we were talking about the other day, Zima. Zima was a malt beverage in the 90s. And when you went out, they would ask you, what flavor do you want? And you're probably thinking to yourself, what flavor of Zima do I want? It only came in one flavor. No, the yuppie hipster thing to do in the 90s was to drop a Jolly Rancher into the beer and make it change flavors. So it was just something that you just did in the 90s. But anyway, let's talk about Miller High Life. It is a lager, and one thing that you can usually tell about domestic beers over craft beers, and it's not always 100%, but if you can twist off the top on a beer, it's domestic and it's cheap. Now, that's probably not fair to say, but I can probably attest to most of the beers that I've had that if I'm drinking a craft beer, I'm using a bottle opener to get that lid off. Unlike this, where we're going to see, it's going to be a twist off. Now, as you can see, Coney over here is waiting to get his taste on this, and I'm going to tell you, buddy, I would watch it because, I don't want you, pooping all over my floor later tonight because you drank this beer, all right? So you might want to hold off on that. Let me be the taster first. So let's open this thing up. Let's see how this thing pours, and let's see how this thing tastes after all these years. Oh, see? Look at that. Twist top. Now we're going to pour it into this glass here. Look again. Here we go. Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. All right, so let's go ahead and pour it in here. One thing you can usually tell about domestic beers over craft beers is the clarity. I mean, look at that. You can literally see my shirt through this. Now, granted, craft beers, you do have some that are your Pilsners and lagers that do have this type of color to it, but they actually taste pretty good. So let's go ahead and taste Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Nope. Do not miss that beer at all. God, that's bad. Like, God, can't believe I drank this when I was younger. You want some Coney? Well, you can drink it off camera later, okay? You can help me drink it off camera later. I will not check this in. A lot of my friends have said, you need to check it in. Man, I might just have to do it just to put it on my page, just to say that I did it. And there's a domestic beer on my on my page now. So anyway, Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. Do not miss this beer at all. It is garbage. Have a good Sunday, everybody. And I will see you on the flip side for another beer coming soon.